Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Western University here in London, Ontario, for a premier matchup at the U14 AAA level of OSFL football. We have the London Junior Mustangs taking on the Oakville Titans. My name is Dylan Sherville, and beside me, I got the ref man, big man in charge, Shane Rodriguez. Shane, how's it going today?
Good. How are you, Dylan?
Doing great. Doing great. Excited for some football today.
Absolutely.
Two great teams that we'll touch on. And we'll just get to play the national anthem here, and then we'll get the game started. All right, we're getting ready to start the action here. Two great teams, both undefeated, meeting in this week's matchup. Kind of a different battle of the different styles here. Oakville with the more stronger passing attack, led by quarterback Lincoln Ularic. And then the running game with the Junior Mustangs, led by Casey McBride, who is injured today. So that will, obviously have a big impact on London's game plan. But this is going to be a great matchup, Shane.
Yeah, that running back's a force to be reckoned with. I was on the sideline last week, and before the ball was snapped, I heard the head coach say, "This one's a touchdown." And sure enough, 30 seconds later, Carson, I believe that's his name, Carson, right?
Kaysen, but yeah.
Kaysen was in the end zone. And
it looks like Oakville is going to be kicking off to the London Junior Mustangs here, deferring to the second half. The returners for the Junior Mustangs, we have Javen and Jarrah Sarfo back there looking to return. And then for the kicker for Oakville, that is Jacob Betancourt. London in the black jersey with the gray pants with the white stripe. Oakville, white jerseys, black pants, ready to get this kicked off here at London, Ontario, where I believe we're at about 25 degrees. A little slight wind to the southwest, but looking like a great day for football.
closer to 20 degrees, but
Yeah,
who's counting?
who's counting?
Kick to the 20-yard line.
Taken by Sarfo, moving towards the right side of the field. Taken down hard. What looks to be number 52 from the Titans on a big special teams tackle. That is Andrew Haskett as the London offense comes out to play here. Traditionally, what you'll see from London is a lot what you'd see in a lot of American high school footballs here with the wing T style offense or the double wing style offense. It's been proven to be very effective for them so far, not just running the ball, but passing the ball as well. This offense led by number 11, Nate White, second year in the U14 AAA League, as they come out in that wing style formation. Both Sarfos as the wing backs, number 35, Emmett Ferenz as the running back. White snaps, hands it off to Ferenz. It's up in the gut here off to the right side. He breaks it for another tackle here across the 50. That's about a 20-yard gain on the first play of the game. Shane, big run to start the game.
It's where you want. Set the tone early, establish the run, all the things, all the cliches.
Yeah, all the cliches.
All the cliches.
All the cliches.
And keep the offense ahead of schedule, on track, keeping down and distance in your favor. Yeah, keep the defense guessing. Don't want to be in obvious passing situations early or at all.
Absolutely. This defense anchored by number 8, Andreas Mayen, as the middle linebacker there, as Oakville's looking to come out in this 50-style look with the overhang to the field. 52-style look against this wing T offense, single high safety for Oakville. Motion starts. White hands the ball off to Ferenz. He looks to pick up a couple yards here off to the left side as he crosses midfield. That'll be bringing up second and about 7 for the Junior Mustangs offense. I always wonder if teams look at the weather before picking their jerseys. Hot day, black jerseys might take a little bit of a toll here.
I would hope so. Referees aren't as lucky; they have to wear the same thing every week. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't be wearing black when it's 30+ degrees out.
Yeah, well, at least you get half and half.
Yeah,
right?
best of both worlds.
That's right. All right, White under center here in that wing style formation, sends the receiver in motion, hands off again to Ferenz, fakes it with the sweep to Sarfo, who's got some space, looking to make a move off to the left side, breaks a few tackles here, and is tackled at about the 40. Looks to be, I believe, number 38 from the Titans is able to bring him down. Or 36, sorry, Jacob Betancourt. And Shane, coming from a reffing perspective, what kind of keys do you look at this age group and this level?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the first age in the OSFL where it's regular football. The U12 and U10s have some modified rules like kicking, special teams, stuff like that. Really, the only difference with the U14s is they get an extra down. It's 4 downs, whereas the older age groups are 3. But other than that, it's full field, full rules. And so it's their first experience for some players with special teams, and it also gives an opportunity for more players to play. It's not just offense, defense. There's ample opportunity to make some plays on specials as well, which is a third of the game.
Absolutely, especially in Canadian football, right? When you do get to that U16, U18 age group, it does move down to 3 downs. So 4 downs is great. You'll see a lot more American style, in quotes, offenses at this level, right? As we saw a little variation from head coach Sylvester Sarfo there, where got Nate White in the pistol there, handing the ball off. Ferenz picking up about 5, which is always great. 3 to 5 yards in a cloud of dust, as the cliche says. They come back out in that pistol look with I believe, a tight end off to the left, but 2 wing backs and a handoff here to Ferenz. Loop around here, flags fly. They got Sarfo running across the right side, who does have some open room, but a 20+ yard gain there as he goes down to the 10. But there is a flag on the field.
Now, based on where that flag came out and how quickly it came out, my first inkling would be offside on defense, but there's actually 2 flags on the field, so we'll have to see how they balance out. It might be the same penalty. We'll wait for the white hat to signal.
And Shane, talk about that process when it comes to reffing. I know that a lot of folks just say, hey, ref throws a flag, it's a penalty. But kind of talk about what refs are looking at. Like if you're that, the ref that's on the sideline there, talk a little bit about what they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. So the sideline officials, they're, especially when the flag comes out as soon as the ball's snapped, it's usually an offside against either team. There's a potential for an illegal procedure there, or if you're American, a false start penalty. But yeah, usually when the flag goes out as soon as the ball's snapped, you're looking for too many players or offside.
Yeah, and you're obviously going to see that a lot in Canadian football with the waggle, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a variation where, if that receiver's more than a yard down the field, it's offside as well, right? So not just the linemen going offside, receivers as well have to watch when they motion. So now you're looking at, I believe this is 2nd down and 10 now for the Junior Mustangs, coming out at the 40-yard line, going into the end zone towards that big, beautiful video board that they got at that end zone. London coming out under center in that double wing now, as there is a stoppage. I believe we're just trying to make sure that we're getting everything spotted correctly, I believe. I always like to call this the meeting of the minds. Everyone's got to come together. The refs are one hive mind, one body, right? So got to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Looks like there was a question from the away team sideline, possibly about the down.
I would assume so.
We were talking when the penalty was thrown, so I don't know what the penalty was.
It was offside on London. You were correct.
Oh, it was just okay. Yeah. So it should be down repeated.
Yep. Absolutely. I believe we got 2nd down and 10 here. we go. We got a double tight end set here now from London coming out in that double wing offense. As we look to hand off, and there's now the sweep to Sarfo, who looks to bounce it inside, bounce it outside. Little juking and jiving, finds the left-hand side. Flag flies in the backfield as Sarfo is tackled for about a 12-yard gain. But again, penalty flag on the play. I believe that this is, I believe what they call the pedestrian block, where you're blocking towards your own end zone, or a holding, one or the other.
I did not see. I figured it would be a holding.
Fair. Especially from where it came from,
yeah,
right?
from where it came from.
Yeah, that back judge there, who's our head ref today, is, that's typically what they're looking for, right? Is the interior, the tackle box.
Yeah, especially when the play's going that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
As an offensive lineman, right? As a defensive lineman, sorry, we always there's holding on every play.
Absolutely,
right? There's holding on every play, but it's all about making sure you're inside the cylinder of the defender. As soon as you get outside that cylinder, a little tug of the jersey, you're gonna get that flag every time.
If I could change anything about the football rule book, it would be that the penalty for holding is changed to illegal holding.
Correct.
And that would make everyone's lives so much easier.
Hey, you got to put that into the league, Shane.
It's the way it's always been. It won't change.
All right, pass here from Nate White for first attempt of the game. He was looking for number 32. That is Jake Carpenter. Looking for it to be the reception. Unfortunately, just a little too far. As we bring up third down and about 20 here for the Junior Mustangs after 2 self-inflicted penalties. All right, Oakville looks like they have some pretty big size on the defensive line there, and keys to the game for the Oakville defense is to limit the big plays, right? Limit the big running plays, right? This team may not pass the ball particularly much, right? They their expertise is in the running game, but that doesn't mean that they can't score fast, especially when you've seen, Casey McBride take it for almost the 2-yard line the entire distance, right? The backs here are very talented. They can take advantage of the space that you give them, but at the same time, right, if you force them into a third down and 20, there's very little options that you can give for the offense. White commands the offense here. Sends Sarfo in motion. Play action pass. White slings it through to the seam. Catch is completed for a first down. That is to number 8, Patrick Dawson, the receiver. Great play action play there for the first down. Great passing protection there for White, right? I feel like they had a pretty clean pocket. He's pretty cerebral when it comes to being a quarterback, right? He scans the field really well, able to put the ball where he wants to. Great overall job by the Mustangs there. Now, the Oakville defense, it's bend or break here. Right?
Absolutely. You got to hold them to 3 or less. I don't recall what the London's kicker has, but if you hold him here, make him lose a couple yards, it's not a sure 3 points.
Absolutely, especially in Canadian football with the Rouge.
Yep.
White commanding the offense, hands it off to the big back there as he picks up, I believe, 2 or 3 yards on that carry. All right, kind of open up the playbook here a little bit. You kind of have anything available, especially when you're picking up 3 yards on the first down. 2nd and 7, pretty manageable, right? You can go to any one of those runs there, maybe one of those jet sweep or the sweeps that they typically run with those wing backs, but it's pretty difficult to defend the wing T offense, right? You try to follow the guards, you try to see what the offense is giving you as White sends its receivers in motion. Looks like there may have been a defensive lineman move, but not break the plane. Catch made at the 5-yard line by number 17. That is Quinn Humphreys, listed as a quarterback here. They're getting them some reps at tight end this week. So pretty interesting when it comes to the personnel usage because of the injuries. Shane, talk a little bit about reffing when we're that close to the line of scrimmage, right? Because you do have to give the yard, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things. Number one, you'll see the umpire using that goal, the upright as a shield. It's especially when you get into older age groups, you're looking at one thing and there's a player running across the field. We use that pole as a shield. Something that's different about the end zone in Canadian football is if there's an offside call at the 1-yard line, in the U.S. it's just half the distance, but up here you actually get a first down. If it's 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line and the defense jumps, you get a first down. And that's something that is very different about the Canadian game when compared to our what you see on TV on Sundays.
Absolutely, and the Mustangs just run there to the 2-yard line. Nate White under center. Quick quarterback sneak here, I believe, for the touchdown for the Junior Mustangs. Number 11, Nate White, who comes through with the touchdown for the Junior Mustangs, as they're the first ones to break the score here, to put themselves up 6-0 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Pretty long drive, right? They methodically move themselves down the field. They were able to make up some of those penalties that they had earlier. So overall, very good job by the offense in being able to move the ball. Now, we're going to see this Oakville offense come out, and they love to sling it. They are sensational when it comes to throwing the football, especially with quarterback number 3, Lincoln Ularic. I'll go on broadcast and say I think he's probably the best quarterback when it comes to the province, possibly the country at this age group. This kid's athletic. He can sling the ball. He's going to have all of his options and more when it comes to where he wants to play post-secondary football, and he's not even in high school yet.
That's high praise. That is high praise for a 14-year-old. But hey, sometimes you notice talent when they're this young, and it's good for the athlete. Keeps his options open, getting your name recognized, and good things are in the future for that young man.
Absolutely. And Oakville's offense coming out, and the offensive coordinator, Evan Lucky, is going to have to put together potentially a scoring drive here. Of course, that's the goal of all OCs, to score on every drive, but we'll see what happens here. Down 7-0, right? Neither of these teams are used to being down, right? Both of them being undefeated, coming out, and that drive taking so long. That's almost how you beat a passing offense.
Absolutely.
You take time away from them.
Absolutely. If their quarterback's not on the field, it's really hard for them to score points, right? So by having long, methodical drives, kind of puts them in a pinch. If they score too quickly, or the other team scores, and then you're back on the field, and you can run the clock as much as you're able to, and just reduce the time that quarterback can deliver deep threats and beat you with those big plays.
Absolutely. In Oakville, back to return, they have number 2, Eli Borjas. My apologies for any mispronunciations during the game. And I can't quite tell the other returner back there. It looks like it's number 1, Mason Harper, but can't tell the exact number. And then number 32, Jake Carpenter, set to kick off for the Mustangs here. They got a little bit of a different shift going on with the returners here. Big booming kick from Carpenter. Nice catch there from, I believe, is Mason Harper as he runs towards the sidelines here. It is stuck really quickly by, I believe, number 29. That's Carter Glendenning with the pop there. Good physical hit as Oakville begins their first drive of the game at the 34-yard line.
Now, Dylan, if you were the OC for Oakville and you're down 7-0, like you said, haven't been used to being down at all, what do you call in the first play here? We saw London called a nice run play on the first play, kind of set the tone early. What are you thinking if you're Oakville?
For me, when I'm looking at a scoreboard, even if I'm down 7, I think of it as 0-0, right? We could tie the game at any point in time.
Absolutely.
It's very much a, hey, let's do what got us there, right? Let's do what has allowed us to be successful. Again, I think that slinging the ball is going to be great for them, and it's going to lead to a lot of success. But there's a really strong secondary that London has as well, but they do come out and run the ball here. It's number 4, Aubrey Muhammad, who looks to bounce it outside. Looks like he got caught in the backfield for a loss of 1. Flag flies in the backfield here, and we'll check to see what that penalty is.
Look to be a hold.
Let's talk a little bit about the officiating crew, because obviously these games don't happen without the, I was about to say stars and stripes, without the black and white stripes. Shane, so talk a little about the staff and kind of the London Football Officials Association and how they operate.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're always looking for new officials. The best place to start is in the fall with LMFA. LMFA is a great partner of ours. They love having new officials out there. You'll get paid for those games. You just start at the bottom. Start with getting a deep understanding of what we do. There's a thing in officiating called mechanics, which when I started, I was like, this is stupid. I know what a football game is. But you have to be in the right position to be able to call the penalties.
And also know what you're looking at, right? So
Absolutely.
Oakville coming out in the trips formation. There's some motion that coming in. Olaric hands the ball off to Muhammad once again as he breaks off to the right side. Looks like he picks up at about 5 or 7 yards here. As a receiver does go down for Oakville. It's number 7, Oliver Panella. I believe he's their second leading receiver, with Borjas being their number 1 receiver. Hopefully Panella's okay. But yeah, absolutely, and it's something that, even myself, you go through the reffing certifications, right? The training's great, believe it or not. Like you learn a lot.
Yeah, we've had a lot of coaches over the last number of years take it just so they know, they just get a deeper understanding. Honestly, that's why I started officiating, was just, I had plans to start coaching one day, but just wanted to get a deeper understanding of it. And while I was in post-secondary, I didn't necessarily want to be tied to a team and that schedule. It can make my own schedule. But after officiating for a number of years, I was like, hey, this is pretty great. I don't have to travel to Oakville on my Saturdays. I can stay right in the hometown of London. Yeah, it's a great way to stay involved in the game, especially for those with schedules that may not be great for coaching, guys that do shift work and stuff like that.
Absolutely, and it's something where you get the best seat in the house, right? You're on the field. Like, you literally get to watch the whole game from the field. Yeah, there's a little bit of athletic movement involved, right? Someone like myself, the first game I ever reffed was 76-68. So I did a lot of running that day. You get your steps in.
You do get
and
your
then
steps
at the end
in.
of the day, you get to end up watching a great game of football.
If I do a doubleheader, usually I end up looking at my watch after the game with about 20K done between the two games. So,
all right, we get trips towards the boundary here for Oakville. Lark sends his receivers in motion as he drops back to pass. Passes out quickly to number 2. That's Borjas, who we mentioned earlier. Quickly tackled by number 21, Declan Lee, who's one of the leaders on this defense. I believe both of these teams have a few players that played for Team Ontario, but a great quick connection there, and that's more of the Oakville style, right? Get the dink and dunk, pass the ball through the game, and then look for those big shots down the field to score. That's overall what you want to see from them, right? Is get in rhythm, get the concepts that you want to run that you think are going to be able to punish the defense, get them out there, see how London reacts, and adjust from there.
Yeah, ever since they've run 3 plays, there was a hold, and then 2 plays that gained about 5.5 yards each. If you average 5.5 yards per offensive play, you'll win a lot of football games. But this play, they need to get 9 to get to the sticks. So let's see.
All right, Olark drops back to pass. As he looks, he throws it towards the sticks. Caught again by Borjas for a first down. Tackled by a couple London defenders. It's number 19 and number 28. That's Finley Almeida and Xander Kohler on the tackle there. Again, going to Borjas. I believe he's their number 1 guy from what I've seen on social media. Again, former quarterback, actually, transferred to wide receiver. He's looking like he's running some pretty crisp routes.
Yeah, I think making that transition makes you a better wide receiver. You know what the quarterback's looking for. You just have a better idea of the overall game, especially at this age. You're not so locked in just to what a wide receiver does. You're looking at the bigger picture with the entire offense.
Of course, little demon look with 3 backs in the backfield here. Flags fly. Looks like there may have been someone move a little early there. I believe that was, sorry, for lack of a better term, false start, but give me the correct call here, Shane.
Looked to be an illegal procedure, which is just false start, but with the Canadian twist on it.
False start with extra steps, right? So
absolutely, more letters.
Yeah, the illegal procedure does move the Titans back 5 yards. So you're looking at 1st and 15 as the down is repeated for the Titans. And when we are looking at the London Junior Mustangs defense there, the quote potential quarterback of this defense, number 1, Kamani Blake, with a few interceptions on the season. 2 pretty lockdown corners in Holden Lukings and Finley Almeida, doing a great job out there as they do hand the ball off to Muhammad as he runs over to the right side and is tackled. Looks to be at the line of scrimmage. I believe that he was tackled by the defensive end of that side. And when you talked about those mechanics, Shane, for reffing, right? When we talk about mechanics as a coach, it's very much how you're going to step, how you're going to put your hands, where you're going to block. Talk a little about the mechanics that refs have to go through and master.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll look at the head of the white hat is what we call it, the referee position. What your responsibility is, where you're standing, knowing where the ball is, and where your best positioning is to play the probability game.
And that was the shot that Oakville really wanted there. Again, it looked very effortless from Olarik coming out of his hand as he was looking for number 12. That's Caleb Kuhar, or Kahar, my apologies. Again, sorry for any mispronunciations. They had that deep shot. It was there, right? I always tell my receivers, you got to run your entire route, right? You can't stop because you don't know when you're getting the ball.
Absolutely. I have a feeling they'll go back to that one. Maybe not this drive, maybe not this quarter, but before the end of this game, I think we'll see another shot like that.
Absolutely. And we're getting to the end of the first quarter here. This being the last play of the first quarter for the Oakville Titans here as they're down 7-0 to the London Junior Mustangs. Both teams have all of their timeouts as we come with a little interesting stack formation here that Oakville has with 4 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield. Ularic slings it. Unfortunately, Borjas, I believe, was unable to bring that ball in as he was being defended, I believe, by number 10, Holden Lukings, or 21, Declan Lee.
There was a bunch of Mustangs in the area.
Yeah.
If he brought that in, it would have been enough for a first down, I believe, but he would have got tackled quickly. But yeah, there was a herd of Mustangs there.
Yeah, so 4th down upcoming now for the Oakville Titans on their own 42-yard line. So they'll be electing to punt potentially here. You and I both know probably that I'd be punting in this situation. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do.
Absolutely. Try and flip the field. The only worry is London took up the first almost 8 minutes of the first quarter. If they're getting the ball back to start the second quarter,
you might not see the ball.
Yeah, in Canadian football, you'll probably see the ball within the 3 minutes. But there's a chance that they don't give you much time to work with if they choose to go that route.
Correct. And then the Junior Mustangs do send out their punt return unit with Javen and Jarrah Sarfo back to return. And then for the Titans, I believe that this is number 2 or 12?
12.
Yeah, number 12 here, Caleb Kuhar, receiver, also punting the ball. I always loved that when you had a really good athlete that was at the punter, because it does allow you to do some pretty unique things on the special teams. You'll see with the U18 team that plays later today, Julian Garces, their punter, actually an OFSA runner. I believe it was in the 4x4 or the 4x1. So when you have that good of an athlete, it does unlock some things for your team. Low snap here. Kick does end up getting off sky high. Sarfo does get underneath it, is able to catch it, does make a move towards the field, but is wrapped up quickly by number 22 for the Oakville Titans. That is Enzo Silveria with the tackle there, the safety coming down to make the play. Great job, Enzo, there.
London will get the ball at the 50-yard line.
Going out. Going out.
Yeah, going out.
Towards the Michael Kirkley building there.
Towards the old scoreboard.
Exactly, towards the old school, that's right. Which did get a little bit of a facelift, does look really nice. A lot better than what it looked like before, which is great. Shane, I know even in some prior weeks there's been some issues with spotting the ball or even with measuring the ball. Talk a little bit about the logo in the center of the field and the challenges that takes.
Absolutely. So the major lines on the football field, so the 50, the 40, the 30, all those major ones, is how we use to make sure when we bring in the sticks from the sideline to the middle of the field that we're in the same spot. There's a little clip that goes on the sticks so we keep our spot. But if you look at the Western logo, it spans 3 of those. And as you know, the sticks are only 10 yards. So there's really no reference point on the logo for measurements. If you look down south and in even CFL fields, the hash marks and the lines are translucent behind the logo, so you can still use it. But or they're smaller logos; they don't span the full 10 yards. So measuring here at Alumni Field can be a challenge. If you're ever on the sideline or in a pregame of an OUA game, it's something that gets talked about every single week. How are we doing a measurement on the logo? And usually the answer is we'll do our best.
And that's all you can ask for, right? As White does send his receivers in motion, is able to complete the pass there to Sarfo as he does escape a defender. Number 32 there with the block, ends up tripping the official there, and he does end up going to the house. That's Jarrah Sarfo with the touchdown catch there. There is a flag on the field, however, and I think this one's coming back.
If it was the block that I think I saw, it might be a blind side. It looked like he was going parallel or pretty darn close to parallel back towards his own dead ball line, I believe.
Yeah, and so, sorry, the blindside block, or what other people call the pedestrian block, you can't block back towards your own end zone or towards your own line of scrimmage when the ball is down the field. That does result in a penalty, and I believe it's it's from the spot back, correct?
Yeah, so the flag was picked up. I believe the official that threw it took a tumble after with one of the players. So I'm not sure what happened there. But one thing with officiating, there are a couple fouls in the rule book that involve two officials to call. If you look at intentional grounding, the white hat's responsibility is the quarterback, and then the line of scrimmage officials tells you, did the ball make it past the line of scrimmage? So oftentimes you'll see an intentional grounding flag take a minute to be thrown, but it's not because they're not sure. It's because all the officials have the information to make the call. So they need to get together and chat. Just like on that one, again, it might not have been that flag, but another official might have come in and said no, he was not going back towards his own dead ball line.
As much as we say, yeah, London could take off a bunch of time off the clock and run the ball. What is it, 3 plays and a score?
Yep.
So that puts them up 14-0 after Carpenter's point after kick. Great job from the Mustangs in that, and including the passing game out of that wing T offense, which typically you don't see a lot of, right? But, Coach Sylvester Sarfo wants to open up the passing game, has the quarterbacks, plural, to be able to do it, which is great, despite some injuries. But they've been doing a great job with that. And now Oakville has themselves in a hole, right? You're down 14-0, start of the second quarter. You got to find something here, right? You got to drive the field here, take some time, put up a score. Whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, you got to put up a score here.
Absolutely. I'd rather be down 14-0 with a cerebral quarterback in my hand than a ground and pound running team. Having a passing offense makes it a little bit easier to claw out of this hole, whereas a slow burn running focused team makes it a little bit more challenging. But this quarterback has what it takes to march down the field, make it a one-score game with 9 minutes left on the clock.
All right, perfect. So London does come to kick off here, and this is Carpenter looking to kick off to number 2. That's Borjas, and I believe, I can't quite catch the other number there. We did mention it. A little bit of a shorter kick recovered by Andreas Meehan of the Oakville Titans. He gets on a little bit of a run here, catches down the sideline, goes to the 50, 45, ends up going to the 40, breaking some tackles, eventually pushed out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Great return from a guy who you traditionally wouldn't think would be a great returner, right? You got those traditional wall players, or what used to be called the wall, right? Back when we played football.
Absolutely. The wedge.
Great return, and that's something that can change the tide of a game, right?
Absolutely.
Instead of starting on your own 40, your own 35, now you're starting on the opponent's 30, and especially with a passing team like you mentioned. This could be quick here.
Absolutely. It gets them gets a little bit of confidence going for that sideline. Gives the quarterback, doesn't feel like he has to do it all by himself, maybe.
And so here we go. We get that demon look again. O'Harick does hand the ball off to Muhammad here as he does run to the left-hand side, picks himself up at about 5-6 yards here, and ends up getting a short second down opportunity for the Titans. Oakville, for a passing team, they are running the ball pretty efficiently as well. They have a few ones that were stopped kind of lower on the or for a lesser of a gain, but they are moving the ball pretty efficiently now. 2nd down and 3 for the Titans upcoming.
Yeah, staying ahead of the sticks, really leave the playbook open. For a pass-first team, I'd be pretty comfortable calling a run here. But as a pass-first team, obviously that's always a weapon that we can use, and they do decide to use it.
Flag does fly as there is a fumble there, but picked up by what looks to be an offensive lineman that might be out there. Oh, sorry, no. Oh, and another flag flies after the play. Those are not always the best ones, that's for sure. That's when, someone's saying something or doing something that they shouldn't be, unfortunately. So we'll see what ends up coming out here. It looks like there may have been some sort of maybe like a receiver blocking before the ball was thrown kind of deal. But I did see number 36 from the Titans talking to the official. That is Jacob Betancourt. Again, saying his name quite a bit here. Does a lot for this Oakville Titans team. And we're going to see what the call is here. Shane, feel free to explain it for us here.
Simple offside on the defense. And I cannot see what that signal was. Oh, good. An unnecessary roughness after the play. Yep, so it'll be a 10-yard difference and repeat the down.
All right.
Now, when there's a foul that there's 2 fouls on the same play, you usually, most of the time, there are exceptions, go back to where the first foul happened. So the offside is always enforced from the previous line of scrimmage. So if you have another foul during the play, the previous line of scrimmage is kind of where you start balancing those penalties out.
So in theory, they would have moved the ball up 5 and then back the 15,
Absolutely.
meaning the 10
Yes,
difference
absolutely. You just don't see that on the field because we already do too many steps out there as the
That's right.
Zebras.
Math can be easy for us. As Ulharek slings it across the middle of the field to number 12 from the Titans there. That is Caleb Kuhar with the catch, and that was number 1, Kamani Blake with the hit, who is down. One of the leaders of this defense for the Junior Mustangs, and a kid who has zero fear.
Yes, I've watched him play since he was playing LMFA, and he has never been the biggest kid out there, but he delivers some of the hardest hits, and I've talked to him a couple times on the field, and I'm like, you were made of steel.
Right.
And he's a humble athlete. He just kind of nods and smiles at you. Doesn't really say much out there. Leads by his actions, not with his words.
Yeah, completely agree. Fortunate enough to coach Kamani a couple years ago, and also get to know him and his family. Great people. Let's hope for the best for him, that he does recover soon. But yeah, he leads. He's not a big talker.
No.
One of the funniest kids when he does start talking, but doesn't talk too much on the field. Allows his play to dictate it. Fun fact, we play a little bit of 7-on-7 here in a different league there, but he was playing 2 age groups up and was still defending like kids who are in high school.
Wow.
So he loves the competition. He loves and thrives for that. So let's hope that he's okay.
Absolutely. That'd be a big loss if he's out for any
extended period of time.
Yeah,
for sure.
Extended period of time. Canadian amateur rules, you have to be off for 3 plays when you come off to give the trainers adequate time to make sure that you're good to go.
And a timeout doesn't replace those 3 plays, right?
But new this year, halftime does.
Oh, okay. Learning something every day.
It was a pain going into halftime, having to remember that a player still had a couple more plays that he needed to miss, and so they got rid of that this year to make our jobs easier.
Fair enough. And we love when the officials' jobs are easy because that means the game runs smoother, right? Everyone knows what's going on, easier to understand, easier to get new officials to also understand as well.
Absolutely.
As Olarek's pass does go incomplete there, as it is now 2nd and 10 for the Oakville Titans, as they are, they had a shorter drive. I've had a little bit of stalls here and there, but they haven't been moving the ball on this Junior Mustangs defense.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see what Oakville wants to go to here. I believe that we're just getting some chat in here of equipment and making sure that everyone's good to go.
And when the clock stops on an incomplete pass, it's a great time to do that. The 20-second play clock doesn't start until the white hat wants it to. So you have a little bit of time to correct something that either you've noticed or other officials have been noticing.
All right, we get that demon look again. Handoff to Muhammad there as he escapes off the left-hand side. Herd of Mustangs attempting to bring him down, but he chugs forward for an additional few yards, as it looks like he carried this for, I believe, 8 or 9 yards?
Yeah, 7, 8, 9 yards. Makes their down manageable.
Definitely, especially you can go back to that, right? Like when you're
Absolutely.
picking up, 7 yards on the ground, no reason to stop doing that, right? All right, it looks like they're going to go no huddle quick here. Almost a really tight formation that they got going on here. Multiple tight ends, as Olarek does look to end up trying to sneak this one over, but I don't think he gets it here.
It was close.
Yeah, we'll see for forward progress.
Needed to get to the 6, and they're marking the ball at the 7.
Yeah, it looks like he might be just a yard short. I would love to see here like some sort of hard count.
Absolutely.
That's one thing that I'm like. I would love to call that multiple times a game, but it seems like it's kind of like Spider-Man, right? Everyone gets one.
Yeah.
Right. You can get a team once on it, but as soon as you give it up, as soon as they give up one, their coach is gonna be screaming on the sideline, right? It's the easiest thing to do as a defensive lineman. Just watch the ball or watch your target. If he moves, you move, right? So to go offside is a pretty self-inflicted penalty there. As we do see Oakville spread it out here. 5 receivers on the field, 1 back in the backfield, and that being Muhammad Borjas to the short side of the field. As they did try the hard count. Hey, I might know what I'm talking about sometimes. Olarek drops back to pass, scans the field, slings it to slings it to the secondary receiver of the post, coming over the middle, and that is a touchdown for the Oakville Titans. I believe that was number 2, Eli Borjas with the touchdown. Yeah, great route. Ran a post as that receiver. Great job there.
Different formation than they ran on third down. Third down, everyone was nice and tight, your heavier formation, and fourth down they spread it out. Looked to be like an obvious passing play based on the formation, but maybe that's what they wanted the London Junior Mustangs to think, and they might go back to that later.
Gutsy call, though.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Gutsy call on fourth down. 4th and 1, and you're slinging the rock. I love it. As we get to the point after here, it looks like they're actually going for 2 here. So talk about a little bit about the point after attempt when teams want to go for 2.
Yeah. So going for 2 down 14 is it's something that if you talk to a million coaches, you'll hear different theories on it. If you get 2 on the first one, then it's touchdown and a PAT away from taking the lead. But if you don't get it, well, the 2-point convert is about a 50% hit rate. So if you don't get it the first time, chances are you'll get it the second time, and your worst case scenario, ideally in a perfect world, it's tied 14. But with not getting it on the first one, you're kind of backs to the wall when you score your next touchdown. It's you're kind of forced to.
Correct, and that point after was intercepted by number 10, Holden Lukings. Also plays wide receiver as well, so cool that he has kind of that dual skill set of, hey, I know what kind of routes receivers want to run. I can try and put myself in a good spot. Picked off. O'Hara had a ton of time there.
Yeah,
he was able to roll out to his left, get a ton of time, and try to put that pass where it needed to be. But like you said, you do end up putting yourself a little bit behind.
Yeah.
I'm very big on football analytics, right? Like, I'm not a guy who says you should never punt, but there are only really a few number of situations when you should. But I think that going for 2, if your team practices it consistently, it's a good idea, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if you're a team that doesn't have a very strong kicker or can't block PATs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever play a game of Madden with me, I'll be going for 2 every touchdown or after every touchdown. But that's just because I'm confident in my 5 2-point plays that I have.
That's right. There you go. New Madden, a new college football game coming out next month. I don't know. Thank God it's after our championship weekend. That's for sure.
Right? A little bit of Kyler Murray action.
Oh wait, it's not. Oh wow. Okay. All right. His kick does go out of bounds.
Yeah, so kick out of bounds. That is a penalty where everyone assumes it just goes to the 40, but there are actually a bunch of options. You can have them re-kick 5 yards back. You can take the ball where it goes out of bounds, which obviously this went out of bounds around the 35, so you wouldn't want to do that. Or you can put the ball 25 yards up from the point of the kick. So there are a bunch of different options that you have when a ball goes out of bounds. Just depending on the circumstance, but the most common one is the ball's at the 40, and the offense gets to pick the hash mark it's on, and they get to call their favorite play depending on where the ball is. Lenny gets good field position at the 40-yard line.
Comes out in that double wing with the tight end towards the boundary here. Boundary meaning the short side of the field, as we do have some different personnel in, as Nate White does end up motioning his receivers, and they hand it off to the big running back again for about a 6-yard gain. This is going to be a long day. if he's getting 6 yards a pop, that defense is going to get softer and softer as the game goes on. As you see in a lot of other games, especially at the U16 and U18 level, they'll run power, they'll run counter, they'll run power, they'll run counter. And then all of a sudden, the 3rd and 4th quarter, things open up. And it's a war of attrition, it feels like.
Absolutely. When you establish the run and you run all day long, the defense gets sore. It's a punishing play. There's a tackle made on every run play, whereas when there's a passing play, there's not necessarily a tackle made every single time.
As Nate White drops back to pass intended for Sarfo, unfortunately, is incomplete as it goes to 3rd and 5 for the Junior Mustangs. Kind of talk a little bit more about that process for reffing there, Shane. I know that there's a certifications that you got to go through, but talk a little bit about, like, hey, you're coming to ref your first game. What's that experience going to look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So before every game, there's a pregame. Usually the officials get here just after the teams do, about an hour and a half to 2 hours before kickoff. And we just go through everything. We kind of strip it down to the basics. What are you looking at on a run play? What are you looking at on a pass play? Who's responsible for what? Rule changes depending on the age group. Also, if you've done these teams in the past, what are we expecting? If you've seen the away team before, what do they like to do? What are their tendencies? Just so we're we're not surprised. When you have football officials who are surprised, that's usually when things go south. That's why every pregame between the officials and each head coach, it's any surprise plays that you might run,
Yeah.
and that's a good opportunity for the coach to tell you of any trick plays they have up their sleeves, but also say, hey, our quarterback's dang good at read options, and you're gonna think he has it, or the running back has it, but it's our quarterback that has it. And even as an official, you think someone has it, they get tackled, and you're like, oh no, the quarterback has it. And if you're too quick on the whistle, then you disadvantage the one team. So when you're caught off guard, mistakes sometimes happen. So it's yeah, there's a lot of things that go into officiating. Rule standards and what they are for the age group. In a U10 game, the first offside of a game, you might not throw the flag right away. You might talk to the kid and just remind them because they're 10 years old. But as you move up to the U16, U18, and even U14, like these kids hopefully have been playing football for a couple years. They know what the rule is, so there's less leeway there.
As White does look to boot out here, as he has a ton of space, he runs for the first down and more. Tackled by a few Titan defenders there. That little push off there at the end was a little interesting, but good run by Nate White. First down for London there as he picks it up with his feet.
Absolutely. Quarterback didn't like what he saw. He saw an alleyway to get out of the pocket and move the chains by himself. Good on that young man to move the chains and keep the drive alive.
Yep. It's okay. No, you're good. I didn't know either. I just had to check that out. All right, as they come out in that pistol formation, handoff to the back, up the backfield as he breaks a few tackles there. Rumbling, stumbling, moving around. Picks up about 15 yards there on the carry. That's number 35. We mentioned him a few times this game. Emmett Ferenz, I believe. Again, my apologies for any mispronunciations there. Big run up front. And I'm always the first guy to credit the offensive line. I'm also the first guy to criticize the offensive line.
Absolutely.
Right? But they did their job there for sure.
Having a good offensive line makes your day in the office as a running back or a fullback or whatever, any ball carrier's job much easier.
100%. It was funny back in the day, CJ2K, but if you looked at his offensive line, 4 out of 5 of them made the Pro Bowl and 3 of them were all pros. So obviously great to have. White does sling it again over the middle of the field to Sarfo. That's number 2. That is Javen Sarfo with the reception from Nate White. It looks like he has very strong command of this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. There hasn't been many miscues today. 1 or 2 incomplete passes, but for the most part, every play is what the analytics people would call a successful play, meaning they're gaining a certain amount of yards depending on the down and distance, staying ahead of schedule, keeping this offense on track towards the end zone.
Definitely completely agree. And I always like to shout out a guy, Joe Harris. He was a sponsor of the U14AA stream last week. Big analytics guy, but uses them to his advantage and is really great with it. As they hand the ball off to the right side, Ferenz again picking up a few yards in a cloud of dust, so to speak, or a cloud of rubber pebbles as they come up from the turf. And that's second and manageable now for London as we come up to the 3-minute warning in the first half. The London Junior Mustangs driving, looking to score, up 14-6 over the Oakville Titans. London in their black jerseys and gray pants with the white stripe. Oakville in their white jerseys, black pants. Oakville Raiders. That Las Vegas Raiders type look. I love the classic and simplicity of the jersey.
Absolutely, it's nice when you watching a game and the jerseys look good. I was doing it at Oakville a couple weeks ago, and their U8 team has nice jerseys as well.
And as we look, Sarfo with the sweep off to the right-hand side, it decides to cut it up and then bounce it outside for a pretty significant gain. Looks to be about a 12 to 15-yard gain as it is first down now on about the 12-yard line for the Junior Mustangs as they look to potentially score to end the half. That's when it's tough, right? I talk a lot with my kids about winning the middle 8. Right, you win the middle 8, you win the game. Right, it's almost like the 2 possessions in basketball.
Absolutely.
Right, you get those 2 scores, and then you can really set yourself up for the rest of the game where you dictate the pace of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Scoring going into halftime being the last team to score going into halftime great tone setter for the second half, regardless if you're up or down. You always want to be the last one to register points on the scoreboard heading into the change room.
Ferenz with the carry, looks to be about a 3 to 4 yard gain on the play for the Junior Mustangs. If my eyes are right, my eyes could also be completely wrong, but from what it looks like, yeah, about 3 yards there. Second down and 7 for the Junior Mustangs. I would love to see that kind of boot play action where they
absolutely
fake the handoff to the running back, fake the handoff to the slot, boot, and then maybe look for that running back running a wheel route after he's occupied. But that's just me. I know Sylvester Sarfo always has his ideas of what he wants to do, and I'm a run the ball guy myself, so wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball either. Here we go. So it looks like both the receivers were fighting there.
Yeah,
and Shane, you can kind of provide a lot more insight on this when it comes to what exactly you're looking for when there could be potential pass interference on the play.
Yeah, so there's a couple things with the defensive pass interference. First of all, the ball has to be catchable. So if it's out 20 yards out of bounds, you're not going to have much luck. Furthermore, there are key indicators of what a restriction looks like an arm bar or restricting the one arm. You also see screening is another key indicator. It's not called very often. It doesn't happen very often because it's coached out of kids. But especially at a younger age, if someone's beat, you'll just see them throw their arms up like a wacky inflatable Iron Man, trying to distract them.
Wow, great catch on the sideline there from Sarfo. That was number 2. I believe that's Javen Sarfo. Or yes, it's Javen Sarfo with the catch there. Pretty athletic on the sideline there. Looks to be, not sure if it's 4th down. Yeah, it looks like to be 4th and 1 for the Junior Mustangs here.
It'll be 4th down with a couple inches to gain.
Yeah. And this is the part where I always tell my kids, right? I call them my kids. They're not actually my kids, but the kids that I coach. You know what I mean? They have to give a yard.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're telling me that we can't get a yard where they have to give us a yard?
Yeah,
this is an attitude play here.
You get one for free.
That's right. So let's see what they decide to do here. They got Ferenz in the backfield here and White in under center as he sends a receiver in motion. Quick fake handoff as they run the sweep to Sarfo. Let him finish the job. That's another Junior Mustangs touchdown for number 2, Javen Sarfo from 3 yards out. The rushing score puts the Junior Mustangs up pending the point after 20-6 with 1:31 left in the half for the Oakville Titans.
Yeah, you needed a yard. You got 3 and end up in the purple end zone. That's a good
play. That's right. I always wondered what would happen. Like, you know how Boise has the blue turf and how Eastern Carolina has that teal turf, and imagine we got the full purple rugby field in the back, right? The alumni rugby field. Now imagine if they purple turfed this. That would be pretty impressive. It would be cool to see the Mustangs logo inverted in the middle of the field there. But enough about talking about aesthetics here. We're here to watch some football. Looks like the extra point is good from Carpenter. Believe it or not, Jay Carpenter had never played a down of football prior to last August.
Wow.
Yeah. Comes in, plays a little in London minor football. Excels in that, right? Yeah, great kid. Someone who, so new to the game that, hey, let's see if you can do this. Let's see if you can do that. And he's risen to the occasion for this U14 AAA team.
Absolutely. It's you hear stories in the professionals all the time about people who just started playing football in their senior year. There was a first-round draft pick this year who didn't play football until his senior year of high school and actually got a scholarship because of his basketball ability. And when he was at that school, he's like, this football sport looks pretty cool. I played a year of it. Let's go try it out. And then he was a first-round draft pick to the NFL not too many years later. So being a multi-sport athlete just helps your overall athleticism, keeps your body right, keeps you active, and just makes you not a one-dimensional athlete.
Absolutely. And for those kids that do have interest in football, there is I know we're getting a little bit in the future here as Carpenter looks to kick this ball off to begin the next drive for the Oakville Titans.
Nice kick.
As it kicks over his head as number 11 picks it up at the 10-yard line, runs towards the away stance here, looking to cut it upfield as he makes one-man miss, cuts upfield and is tackled by a herd of Mustangs at about the 23-yard line as Oakville begins a drive with 1:20 left in the first half. But to continue my point there, there's a flag coming up after the play again. Someone probably saying something they shouldn't have or doing something they shouldn't have. So again, what I appreciate about refs is how well a refing crew can keep the game tame.
Yeah, that we talk about that all the time, is keeping a lid on it. That's what if we're going into halftime and the tensions were high, coming out of halftime, you have the captains of both teams there, and it's a good opportunity to say, you are the captains of your team. We can all see that this game's getting a little heated. I am trusting you to rein in your players, to rein in your teammates, and let's just play football. Let the game be decided between the whistles. A perfect game from a ref's perspective is where the flag doesn't get thrown once. If I have to throw it for an offside or what we call a technical penalty, I can live with that. But the 15-yarders and the 10-yarders, we hate throwing those. We don't want to. Let the game be decided between the whistles. That's what I always tell the players in those captain meetings. It looks like it was a 15-yard penalty against the Mustangs, so Oakville Titans will have a better starting field position despite that booming kick from the London kickoff team.
Absolutely, and with minute 20 left, field position really matters here, right? Like, how fast can you drive down the field here with this limited amount of time? For a passing team like Oakville, right, could be pretty easy, but they haven't shown it so far. Ulark back to pass, quick route over to number 2, Eli Borjas, breaks a tackle, goes down the sideline, pushed out at about the 43-yard line, or 42-yard line, whichever one. The foot's in the middle, so we'll call it the 42.5, I guess.
Split the difference.
First down for Oakville there. And this is more what we wanted to see from them, right? Get the ball out quick, let the receivers work their magic, allow that London defense to kind of focus more on the shorter routes, and then look for your pushes down the field. Because we know Ular can throw that ball all the way down the field, right? Like, he can push it outside the numbers. He can push it even to the numbers from the field side, which you don't see a lot from quarterbacks at this age. So it will. These London DBs will be tested.
And the Oakville wide receivers have shown that they can make a man miss. So just because it's a 4-yard passing gain.
And there we go. There's the catch, and the balance is super impressive. I believe that's Borjas again with a big grab out to the London 34-yard line. First down for Oakville, and this is more of what we expected to see from them.
Absolutely. Just like I was talking about in making the first guy miss, he was dead to rights where he caught the ball and somehow broke out of that tackle and gained a couple extra yards. Good on that young man. And Oakville's in prime position to strike going into halftime. Thought maybe there was a chance it was London that got the last points on the scoreboard, but Oakville said not without a fight with a minute left. They have one timeout, so the whole playbook's open. As we know in Canadian football, the clock stops after every single play inside the 3. So you have time to rally the troops, get the right personnel in for the play call, and set your team up for success going into the last minute of the first half of this U14 London Junior Mustangs Oakville Titans battle.
It's funny whenever we talk a lot about time in my household. Hey, I got 2 kids, third on the way, and it's like, how much time until the kids are ready? How much time until you're ready? How much time is this? So my wife asked me, how long do you think it's going to take you to get ready? I was like, you know what? 3-minute warning. Both teams have all their timeouts.
Yeah,
Canadian football, 3-minute warning. Both teams have all their timeouts. So it's like at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's a joke that I'll tell my wife. I'll be ready she'll be ready in 5 minutes, but that's football time.
Yes. As Ulark looks to escape the pocket here, does have a great opportunity to run, lowers his shoulder. And as he does pick up the first down up to the London 22-yard line, going in first down for the Titans. And that's another part of his game that we really haven't seen yet.
Yes.
But the kid's one heck of an athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Dylan mentioned his arm a lot, and they're getting ready to go. As soon as the play's blown in, they're set, ready to go. Not much time here.
Absolutely. As O'Hara does drop back to pass, looks to scan the field, takes a little jaunt, slings it down the field. And it looks like that was caught, but was he in? Yes, he was in. That was one heck of a toe tap there. Touchdown for the Titans. That's number 2, Eli Borjas. Been saying his name quite a bit already. It kind of felt inevitable that there was going to be a score coming here.
Absolutely. Just the couple plays that they put together on this drive, they were firing on all cylinders. They weren't going into halftime without points on the board. Looking for 6, and they got it.
Now that 50% comes into play, right?
Yes, it
Going
does.
for 2. Hey, 50-50, right? Coin flip here. Let's see what they come out with, because their previous 2-point try, O'Hara had a ton of time.
Absolutely.
Right? He kind of forced the ball in there a little bit. So let's see how they respond. Interesting that the ball's on the left hash. right? So you get that true boundary field scenario
Absolutely.
where you see if you can get that quick boundary access to Borjas. It is up to number 10, Holden Lukings, to guard him there traditionally if they were in man coverage. But there's some pretty strong DBs here as Ullmark sends receivers in motion, drops back to pass, scans the field, has to escape the pocket. There's multiple defenders running towards his way as he looks to run. Can he beat Blake to the end zone? He does run him slightly over there. Does get him for 2. Ullmark with the 2-point conversion there to bring the Titans within 1 score, 21-14 for the Junior Mustangs. But again, brings them within 1 score, 37 seconds left. Gives you a lot more momentum going into the second half here, unless you give up a score here.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. If Oakville's defense can hold London to no points in the next 37 seconds, I think they'll be going into halftime pretty satisfied with their efforts so far. I believe they get the ball back too to start the second half. It's always nice to go into the halftime score and come out of halftime, get the ball and march down the field and score, and it's a tie game and it's a brand new ball game.
That's right, that middle 8, right?
Yep, absolutely.
You win the middle 8, right? That's I think that might be my coin term. The middle 8 there. You win that and you set yourself up for a really competitive football game. It's really good to see Oakville respond as well after their slight struggles in the first quarter. I mean, not even really struggles. They just didn't have the ball for a long period of time, right? So, again, great game so far in this U14 AAA OSFL matchup between the London Junior Mustangs and Oakville Titans. 37 seconds left on the clock in the first half as the kick is off and deep down the field, returned by number 2, Javen Sarfo, as he looks to return it towards the field and turn the corner. That's looking like it may have been a little wrapped up tackle there from number 54. That is Colby Banky with the tackle from special teams for the Titans as London looks to come out with 30 seconds left on the clock, 1 timeout. And we'll see what they want to do here, right? Traditionally a running team, right? Kind of hard to run the ball down the field in 30 seconds, but of course, the defense knows that, so we'll see this little cat and mouse game between the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator here.
I think we'll be able to tell a lot from what is called on first down. If it's
Correct.
a run, I think they'll go quietly into halftime. If they come out with a pass play and it's successful, close to a first down or greater, I think you'll see them be more aggressive. Really, this first play kind of sets the tone. Both teams have 1 timeout. So really, this first play kind of determines what they do in the next 30 seconds. At least that's how I see it.
I agree. Oakville dropping to a too high look here. Run the ball here, but again, they want to run the ball, and you're giving up almost 20-plus yards here. They're struggling to bring them down up to the 52. Again, 8 seconds off the clock. Clock stops after every play.
Yep.
Right? Again, that cat and mouse game, Oakville was preparing for the pass, and London decides to run the ball. No defensive coordinator for the Oakville Titans, Devontae Ballantyne, former London high school football star, went to CCH, was lucky enough to get him, not lucky enough, was skilled enough to get himself a scholarship to McMaster, performed there pretty admirably, comes back to his hometown, or potentially hometown, to see if he can take on the London Junior Mustangs here. So far, he's done a solid job. Right, with how many injuries the London Junior Mustangs have had, as well as with how high-powered this offense has been, to only let up 21 in the first half, I think is admirable. It's an admirable effort. Yeah,
absolutely, especially with the offense on the other side that Oakville has. 21 points in a half is very doable by them. Coming out if London can score 21 in the first half, Oakville can come out in the second half and also score 21. It's nice when you have both units firing on all cylinders. If one team doesn't, or the offense doesn't score, the defense lets up a score. It's not the end of the world. You're not super one-sided. You can live to fight another day.
Agreed, and it's gonna be interesting to see how both of these teams come out in the second half. London's been able to almost run the ball at will as White comes back, drops back to pass, looks to throw the ball, ends up taking himself for a run, gets out of bounds here, as it looked like a few different Oakville defenders are looking to tackle him there. That was number 97 from the Titans, and that is Jaden Corkum, defensive lineman, as well as number 8, Andreas Mayan, coming through to make sure that White ends up out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And the quarterback was headed for out of bounds. Not only to not take the hit, but also stop the clock to make sure that they have the right personnel in the field for this second down play, where you're really...
Unfortunate weather timing here. We see the ref that's there is lightning in the area, so there is a weather Sorry. There's wind gusts. It's 19 degrees, but lightning in the area. So I'm assuming that all the players are going to be going inside. All of the attendees in the stands are being told to hey off of the bleachers, considering that they're made of metal. Right?
All metal.
Not super great. However, let's talk a little about this first half before we send it to a break. London got off to a pretty hot start with that really long drive, that long sustained drive. But Oakville was able to answer back in the second quarter.
Yeah, and London was hoping probably to get some points with the next 15 seconds. Either way, they're sitting pretty going into halftime. And so honestly, both teams. If I'm the head coach of Oakville, I'm happy with my efforts going into halftime. If I'm London, I'm thrilled. I'm up by 7, up by a score going into halftime. Obviously, was looking to get points there, but both teams are in a good spot. Really, this is a good, close, competitive ball game, and I look forward to the second half.
Absolutely, and I believe that this game is for playoff seeding as well. As we look at the Junior Mustangs season so far, didn't get a chance to talk about a pregame. Let's talk about. Wrong schedule there. My apologies. Talking about their schedule there, both of these teams are 5-0, right? So whichever team wins this ends up becoming the number 1 seed in this division, and ultimately hosting a semifinal playoff game.
Absolutely, assuming things go their way throughout the rest of the season, which
one more week, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, both teams coming out and doing a lot of what we've expected them to do, right? Oakville with their passing attack, putting up 2 quick scores in that kind of second half of the second quarter there. London, again, wanting to pound the rock. It's very much a program-wide mandate. Hey, you got to be able to run the football. So great job by both teams so far. We are going to be heading to a weather break here. I'm unsure how long this weather break will last, but we will be back on the other side.
It's half an hour from every lightning strike. So if we see a lightning strike in 5 minutes from now, reset the timer for half an hour, up till an hour delay. Now, the officials can stretch that. With it being halftime, there's a chance that they might play the 15 seconds at the other side of the weather delay.
Okay.
And then kind of do halftime now. I've seen that done before. It's really just in a close competitive ball game. We want to do everything we can to give the fans, the coaches, the players their money's worth. So I imagine that if both coaches are okay with it, they'll take their halftime now. And then as soon as we're good to go after the weather clears up, we'll play 15 seconds and then another 24 minutes of football after to decide who gets to go home undefeated so far throughout this U14 OSFL season.
Well, I'm Dylan Sherville. Thank you so much for watching so far with my co-broadcaster here and London Football Officials Association aficionado, Shane Rodriguez. We'll catch you guys on the, I was going to say on the flip side. We'll catch you guys on the other half of this weather break. Welcome back, everybody, to now a rainy London, Ontario for the London Junior Mustangs versus the Oakville Titans in this U14 AAA to OSFL matchup here. The rain delay, essentially how this is going to work is the rain delay was then effectively the halftime. So these teams are going to play out the last 15 seconds of the first half and then immediately go into the third quarter as we use the rain delay time for the timeout time. From what I was told, if that changes, obviously it changes. But that's from what I've been informed about on the up in the broadcast booth here. Unfortunately, my co-host Shane Rodriguez did need to do his job there and end up going to prep the next set of reffing officiating crew that is going to be starting for the U16 AAA game that'll be going on after this. Again, the London Junior Mustangs versus the Oakville Titans. This game's been very close. We've seen, at times London try to pull away, but Oakville was really able to catch up quickly in that second half of the second quarter there, where they were able to put up two pretty quick scores by throwing the ball through the air there. Now these teams have had extensive times to review their game plans, make adjustments, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes out here. Teams may also be just going straight into the third quarter as well. That might also be what's happening here, but we'll get that update when I'll let you guys know as soon as we have that update. So when we look at the till the two quarters here, essentially, Oakville rather slow in the first quarter to start the game out, but came out fast in that second quarter, whereas London a little bit faster in that first quarter and then slowed down a little bit in that second quarter. There still was that opportunity to score at the end of the first half for the Junior Mustangs as they had those 15 seconds left on the clock. But hey, Oakville's offense is able to move the ball through the air. It'll be interesting to see how the weather does come into play with their passing attack now, but I have no doubts that they were still running the ball pretty effectively as well when it came to it. So it will be interesting to see how both of these teams rebound and react for the second half. So it does look like they are going to play out those 15 seconds there as the ball is spotted at the 50-yard line of the Oakville Titans as the Junior Mustangs are marching in with 15 seconds left to play in this first half. Nate White coming out with the offense here, and we'll shout out a couple of the numbers as we get them here. We'll recognize the offensive lineman as we love to do here. Number 62, Felix Corey. Number, I believe, 54, Francis Boyce. On the line as well. I'll try to see if there's any other numbers I can make out here, but huge credit to this offensive line for the rushing attack that London has right now, as White does go under center in that dual wing formation here, as he does send his receivers in motion, snaps the ball, hands the ball off to the Big Thunder, running down through there and able to get out of bounds for the first down. And that leaves with 9 seconds left on the clock here. First down on the 40 for the Junior Mustangs as they're looking to march to score with 9 seconds left to play in this first half. And this is going to be part of the key to the second half is keeping that ball dry, right? The more you can keep that ball dry, the better it's going to be for both teams. Appreciate the officiating crew for being able to keep that ball under wraps, so to speak, that towel. As White goes under center here in that dual wing formation, tight end towards the field, receiver in motion, fakes the handoff. White looks to go towards the field. Unfortunately, the pass is just too far of the outstretched hands of number 17, Quinn Humphreys, quarterback not playing tight end this week. So interesting to see that transition happen for the young man. Second down and 10 with 4 seconds left to go in the half here. This is kind of where you're going to look to take your shot, right? 4 seconds left. Might be able to squeeze 2 plays in here, but typically you'll just get 1 as White does come under center here to command the offense. Sends his receiver in motion, snaps the ball, play action, boot towards the left. Flag flies in the field. White slings it down the field and is intercepted by the Oakville Titans as he's running it back. Now that is number 22 as he's looking to take it back to the house. 22, that's Enzo Silvera with the interception as he does run out the first half there, but there is a flag on the field. We'll see what the call is. As we get the meeting of the minds here, as I like to say, with the officiating crew, just making sure everyone's on the same page, and the result of the play as well, as it looks to be no more time on the clock for the first half. If the penalty is on London, then they could essentially decline and then go to the second half here. If they accept it as well, the half is over. But if the penalty was on Oakville, I believe London gets one more untimed down. Unfortunately, I don't have my partner here, Shane Rodriguez, to give me the full rule on that, but we'll see what happens. Offside looks to be the call against Oakville. Penalty is declined, I believe. And there's a face mask penalty as well, I believe, at the end of the play. As both teams will go into the half with the Junior Mustangs up by 7, 21-14 over the Oakville Titans. And I believe we're going to go directly into the third quarter here. So it looks like we're going directly into the third quarter here as the Mustangs look to kick off. This is number 32, Jake Carpenter, looking to kick off for the Mustangs. And we have similar returners back for the Oakville Titans here. I believe it's Eli Borjas back to return, as well as Oliver Pinella, maybe. Big booming kick is caught right away. Looks to cut up a seam here. Does make a few tacklers miss and is tackled in the midfield here. I'm sorry, that's number 11, Liam Fotasane. Or Fotasane, my apologies for the mispronunciation there. As Oakville starts their first drive of the game, or first drive of the second half, my apologies. And like we talked about earlier, that logo can make things a little bit difficult when measuring with the ball, but the officials seem to be right on it. Again, keeping that ball dry as the time is blown in. Oakville looks to break out in here as they go to that interesting trips type formation where they have a stacked receivers, or more like a bunch now towards the field, as Alaric ends up electing to read, and he pulls the ball. He's running with a little bit of space, but is tackled relatively quickly for about a 4-yard gain there. And this is where you can get a little bit interesting with the play there, is that you're reading that backside defensive end, right? When it comes down to it, you're reading that backside defensive end, where if that end, and you're looking here, if this end crashes down and looks to play the run, he ends up creating a running lane for Ulharek there, who ends up being able to pull it. See, the end sits inside there. Ulharek pulls it, gets himself a nice little gain, and we move on to the next play. Ulharek snaps the ball, steps back. He is rolling right, completes it to receiver Borjas. Flag thrown late on the play here. We'll see what looks like a holding call against Oakville here. Unsure of the number, but holding against Oakville will take them back 10 yards. Repeat it down. Be second down and 17 with the Oakville Titans. A little self-inflicted wound there. Self-inflicted penalty. Like we mentioned in the first half, with the holding penalty, right? There's holding on every play. But it's all about being inside the cylinder of the defender, right? If you get outside of the cylinder, right, or the defender is able to get outside of your cylinder, and there's that tug of the jersey, you're going to get that call pretty consistently. All right, we see here trips formation towards the boundary for the Titans as they send two receivers out to the left. Olarik with Muhammad in the backfield as he looks to snap the ball, drops back, scanning the field. Big bomb launch down the sidelines. It's completed to Borjas as he looks to break a tackle, makes another man miss, is cut down to 20, 15, 10, 5, and that's a quick score for the Oakville Titans. Eli Borjas making the most out of Olarik's pass there for a touchdown for the Oakville Titans. That's quick right out of the gate there. Minute and 29 seconds into the third, and they're putting up their first score for Oakville there. Oh, there we go. And a touchdown. Does look to tie it up pending the extra point. And as the same in the first half here, Oakville does decide to come out and look to go for two to take their first lead of the game. Great offensive adjustments there from the coaching staff of the Oakville Titans, especially offensively, to look for that potential mismatch. Borjas, great receiver so far for them this season. That's Evan Lucky, the offensive coordinator for the Oakville Titans, as they look to put together a score, as they have put together a scoring drive. Trips to the field, Olarik floating to his left, launches the ball into the end zone, and it looks to be dropped. It was dropped in the end zone. Unfortunately, I believe that's number 12, Caleb Kuhar, unfortunately unable to bring that ball in. So the Mustangs do get to hold on to their lead 21-20 in this U14 AAA showdown between two undefeated teams, your home team, London Junior Mustangs, and the visiting Oakville Titans. As Oakville looks to kick off here, they have this unique unbalanced type formation where they keep a lot of their, oh no, it's even split now. It was a little bit unbalanced earlier in the game. As number 36 for the Titans looks to kick the ball off to the Junior Mustangs as Jacob Betancourt with the approach, and the big booming kick looks to go to the middle of the field. And that's received by number 2, Javen Sarfo, who looks to go through a crease here. Ends up picking up a few yards, and the Junior Mustangs drive will look to start on the 41-yard line. As the offense trots onto the field here, London was able to move the ball against Oakville in the first half, right? It'll be interesting to see the defensive adjustments from Devontae Ballantyne for this Oakville Titans defense. Let's see how physical they can get. They do have some size on the inside, so it has obviously helped them a little bit with stopping that run. But number 35, Emmett Ferenz, has been running all over them this afternoon, and even the sweeps are working out for them as well. White puts his receiver in motion, hands the ball off quick to Ferenz as he looks to find a gash, and he finds a hole. 50-55, going past midfield down to the 51-yard line. Looks to be a gain of about 14, 15 yards there. That's how you need to respond when you're this London Junior Mustangs offense, is pound the rock, run the football. And that's what this offense is known for. They have a pretty massive offensive line. Great blocking from the fellows up front. Hall of Fame offensive lineman Russ Grimm says the offensive line is the best position to play. And that's because you get to move someone from point A to point B against their will. And that's absolutely what they're doing right now. White putting receiver in motion. Defensive end moves slightly early. Sweep here. Big number 66 leading as the blocker here is Javen Sarfold. Takes a couple cuts. Makes a man miss and is tackled at the 37-yard line of the Junior Mustangs. As we look to see that sweep play is rather interesting because you get both guards moving out here and the defensive linemen almost end up finding themselves inside. And you get a lot of good blocking from the outside there to end up finding themselves that first down. So when you do end up going to that sweep type play, you really want to get both of the guards moving. One typically seals, but on the pull, you'll have both of them seal here so that Sarfo can get outside, to the first down. White sends the receiver in motion, hands off to Ferenz. He does pick up a few yards up front there. Looks to be about a 3 to 4 yard gain for the tailback as they look to continue this drive. Second down at about 7 with 8:10 left to play in this third quarter. The Mustangs holding on dearly to a 1-point lead as they're looking to drive to increase that lead. Oakville coming out in almost this 52 style front. Transition to with 43 in the second half. They have the depth at linebacker, and they're very strong at that spot. Look, now it's looking like almost a 44 stack where they have those defensive halfbacks playing in really tight with one single high safety. White sends the receivers in motion, play action. White stands back, throws the ball, batted down by number 52 of the Oakville Titans. Great athletic play made by Andrew Haskett. And that's essentially where a lot of these wing T style passes want to go. You want to throw the ball over the middle, take advantage of the gap between the linebacker and the safeties, especially when you're running posts or a post wheel type combination. Put some of these defenders in a bind, right, where you are taking advantage of their indecisiveness. But unfortunately, White didn't put enough under the ball to get it over top of the linebackers' heads there. All right, coming out in the pistol, double wing formation here. Three receivers towards the boundary, motioning in them in. Snap, play action, looks to hand off. White slings the ball outside, does go out of bounds as he is taken down. I believe that's by number 97, Jaden Corkum, the defensive end, coming through to make sure that they has the pressure. Now it's 4th and about 7 here for the Junior Mustangs. Be interesting to see if they want to punt the ball here or not. A lot of teams, especially in this league, it can be difficult when you don't have an individual who's a dedicated kicker punter, especially with long snappers as well. I think that at this level especially, it's really hard to develop a really strong long snapper because a lot of these kids, it's a very awkward position to get in, something they haven't really done before. So it'll be interesting to see how many teams do elect to punt, but the Junior Mustangs do not. They snap the ball, quick pass here over the middle, and it's intercepted by the Titans. And let's see a number on that. That's number 1 with the pick, Mason Harper, as White ends up turning the ball over on a passing attempt. As someone who's, analytically minded, I'm somewhat okay, right? If you're looking to punt the ball, you're getting rid of possession anyways, right? If you throw the interception, at least, it's a little bit further from where the ball started. I understand the rationale. Would love to have seen a completion there, but unfortunately with the interception, it's almost better that they intercept the ball there instead of an incompletion because then they would have had more, they've been further down the field. Oakville comes out in that 3 wide receiver set, bunch towards the boundary, running back in the backfield with Ularic, handoff, looks to cut it towards the boundary as number 34 in motion to try and tackle, but the DB number 23 comes down and lays the boom there. That is the defender from the Junior Mustangs, Nathan Cooper, coming down to make the tackle. Let's take a look at that one more time. Sorry. No, unfortunately not. My apologies. Technical miscue on my part. As Oakville comes out, 2nd and about 11, 2nd and 10, as they almost got back to the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers towards the field, 2 to the boundary. Running back offset in that kind of sidecar towards the boundary. As Ularic sends his receivers in motion, drops back to pass, looks to escape, but unfortunately the hole is sealing up there. Defenders are coming close here, and he is tackled for a really significant gain. He made the most out of that one. Looks to be about an 8-yard gain there, setting up for about 3rd and 4 for the Titans. All right, as Oakville comes out on 3rd and I believe 4 here, they have 3 receivers to the boundary in that bunch style formation. 2 to the boundary, 3 to the field, 1 back in the ace. Wow, a little bit of an offside there. doesn't help their chances to try and convert on third down, as it's going to be 3rd and 9 now for the Titans. And joining me on the call here is Western Mustangs commit Nathan Cantor.
How's it going?
It's going great. Always a pleasure to see you. As we see Oakville come out here with 3 receivers to the boundary, 2 to the field. As Ulark drops back to pass. Bomb down the middle of the field here. Intercepted by the Junior Mustangs. That is number 19 as he looks to take it down for a nice return. Tackled at the 45. That's Xander Kohler with the interception. And Nathan, what do you think of the game so far?
I just got here.
So yeah, just got here. Let me give you a little recap. Kind of battle of 2 different styles here. London, one that wants to run the ball, traditional wing T style offense, runs a lot of, dive, power, sweep. They do have a lot of play action in their arsenal, but traditionally they're known to want to run the ball. Whereas Oakville, very high octane passing offense, great quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw that right there.
Yeah. And you'll see that with a lot of these kids that, he's got a strong arm, right? Defender played that pretty well. As London does look to come out in the double wing here with White under center. 1 receiver towards the field, 1 towards the boundary as he puts his receivers in motion. Snap, handoff to Ferenc as he does carry the ball there for about 5 yards. 5 yards is about a cloud of dust there. Brings up 2nd down and 5 for London. And Nathan, when you talk about playing the run, I know that you've played quite a few positions on the defensive side of the ball. What kind of are those keys that you're looking for when you're in that linebacker position?
Well, I mean, it does make it difficult when you have 2 wings on each side because that gives 2 extra gaps. I mean, Oakville seems to be playing a 4-4 to combat that. 4-5 actually. Mm-hmm. So they're filling those 2 extra gaps with the outside 2-back linebackers. Honestly, I'd just be running this outside.
Absolutely. They look to run that sweep to the outside there. I believe that's Jarris Sarfo, number 3 there with the carry towards the field there. This is 1st down for the Mustangs. So, yeah, completely agree. It does put the defensive coordinator in a bind as well because you still have to commit all those guys to the run, but you can still pass at that formation as well.
And, I mean, looking at Oakville's bench over here, you can see that they put in their 2 backs at linebacker.
Yeah.
I saw both of them. They're not ready for this. They're taking steps backwards off at the snap of the ball.
Yeah, it's almost like they're so used to seeing that play action look that they're just almost expecting it to come.
Mm-hmm.
Hand off to Ferenc there as we kind of eat our words a little with the fill of those linebackers there. They end up blocking they end up filling the gaps there only with a 3-yard gain for the running back. I
think they're going to start doing a lot more design blitzes up the middle.
Absolutely, especially with how well Ferenc has run the ball today. It's really hard, especially when you have to have those defenders committed to all those gaps.
Oh, yeah. You can see the boundary linebacker just creeping up.
Absolutely, and especially number 52 who came down and made that play. I believe that is number 52. That's Andrew Haskett who came down and made the previous tackle. As White under center snaps the ball, looks to play action, a handoff, slings the ball fast over towards his target, Quinn Humphreys. Unfortunately, is incomplete. Looked like he had to rush the throw there a little.
Yeah, they're bringing a lot of pressure now.
Yeah, it's just like you mentioned, right? They're bringing the pressure from the middle, from the edge. I think that's more or less how you kind of try to combat a lot of this wing T offense is you bring a little bit extra pressure, right? You can't just sit back and wait for them.
No, it seems like Oakville's communicating a lot now. They are putting a lot of work on their safety right now.
Absolutely. It does put them in a bind. I believe that's Borjas playing safety as well, so he's going both ways and playing special teams, so a lot of stress on him. Now we're in the pistol with the double wing here. White sends his receivers in motion, play action pass. White throws the ball completed to Humphreys over the middle. Ends up going for a 1st down there for a gain of about 15 on the play.
And that's just a nice play. Honestly, you see the linebackers coming down play after play, and you throw it right behind them.
Absolutely, especially when they're getting that run look every time, right? So they're just kind of assuming, oh, okay, they're going to run the ball here. Okay, they're going to run the ball here. But yeah, if you come up too tight, then you're susceptible for the pass right over top.
That's definitely going to make the safety second guess dropping back.
Absolutely. White comes out in the pistol once again.
They're rolling back too high.
Yeah, they did that in the first half as well. I believe that really hurt their ability to play against the run.
I don't really get that call.
Yeah.
They were almost shoulder to
The
shoulder.
rock here.
That was a great run.
Yeah, gain of about, I think, 12 or 13 there. And like you mentioned, right, I believe they rotated.
They roll up, but the safety doesn't go down.
But this safety doesn't come down to play the run.
And they're just covering the same piece of grass.
Correct.
All three of them.
Yeah.
9-2, and that looks like 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree. You're essentially taking a defender out of the run fit, right? So it's easier to run when there's a too high look. Yeah, for sure. White under center. Puts his receivers in motion. Quick handoff to Ferenc. He looks to bounce this slightly outside. Unfortunately, that's not your game, big fella.
Yeah.
But Oakville does stuff that rushing attempt. Second and goal. I believe we have, second and goal here for the Junior Mustangs on the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
With 20 seconds and ticking down here in the third quarter.
It doesn't seem like they have a goal line package.
Well, no, like especially when I think it's more or less because of how effective the play action pass has been. You can't commit that many defensive linemen to the run, right? You still got to be able to play against the pass, or you just creep them up like they're doing right now. White puts his receiver in motion.
Pressure
fakes
off the
bound. Handoff to Ferenc. Sweep out to number 2, Javen Sarfo, and he gets into the end zone for a Junior Mustangs touchdown.
That's just great upfield blocking by 66.
Absolutely. 66 definitely made that block happen there, or that play happen there.
Can we get a replay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're getting a replay here. That's Chase Chance.
66 is lead blocking. That's the left guard.
Yeah.
The corner wants none of that.
No.
The corner wants none of that.
Right
you can see him leading the charge. The corner is,
Yeah, I wouldn't want any part of that either.
No.
To be completely truthful. Yeah, Chase Chant,
can move.
offensive lineman. Hey, yeah. His growth over the last kind of 2 years here has been remarkable as an offensive lineman. Kind of came to us in a few years ago in LMFA, first year of football. Teach him how to get into that 3-point stance, and now all of a sudden he's a first-year U14 starter on the AAA program. All right, setting up for the extra point here. White looking for the snap. Snap is down. Kick is
almost
up.
blocked.
And Carpenter puts it through for the extra point. And at the end of the third quarter here, the Junior Mustangs have an 8-point lead, 28-20 over the Oakville Titans. Again, Oakville can make up that deficit in one drive, right? They've gone for 2 every time they've scored. They have the passing attack to be able to chunk the ball down the field, but London took a lot of time on that drive.
Seems to me they just need to stop taking so many risks. Like, they have an entire quarter left to play.
Correct. Do what got you here, right? You got both teams undefeated. Again, also tight game, right? Very tight game. London looking to get their kickoff team on the field here. That's Ben Anderson, the special teams coordinator. They've done a really good job today on special teams so far. They've had their kickoff return, done a really good job. And especially at this U14 age group, this is kind of the first age group where special teams really matter.
Yeah.
Right? U12, no team punts. You get the uncontested field goal or the uncontested PAT, right? U14, you got all the specials available, right? So
yeah,
it's interesting to see how teams adapt to that, especially with a lot of kids experiencing that for the first time. Carpenter with a big booming kick goes over the head of the returner as he scampers back all the way to the goal line. That's number 11 for the Titans. Now,
let's see if they can do anything with it.
Junior Mustangs can end up defending it on. Big hit there. I believe that was number 25. That's Mason Kraftchick with the big stick there.
Can we get a replay on that?
Absolutely. Big kickoff here.
They see it go over his head, and then the lane integrity just.
Yeah, we see that a lot of them are just kind of crossing over now. You got this big group of here. They got to be spread out and take their lanes, right?
Yep.
We talk about you got to stay in your lane. Right?
Everyone wanted to make that hit the 25 made, or 29.
Yeah, 29 coming up with that big hit. That's a great job by him. And Oakville comes out with their first drive of the fourth quarter. London staying pretty consistent. They have that, they have a pretty solid 2-high look that they go into here, almost like a 4-2-6. especially when Oakville wants to show that they have 5 receivers there. Ulark sends his receivers in motion, hands the ball off there. Quick back there. That's number 11 for the Titans there. Liam Fodasane. My apologies for any mispronunciations there. And a lot different from their previous running back, Muhammad, who was running the ball. Aubrey Muhammad, kind of more that big bruising back, someone who wants to run through you as opposed to around you. When you get the Darren Sproles like back, they call them the scat backs in there. It can present a little bit of trouble, especially when there's only one linebacker in the box.
Mm. Well, I mean, you can give up those. Maybe not. You can't give up first downs. But you can give up run plays.
You can't give up 10-plus yard first downs.
If their goal is to get the confusion in the bunch look.
That's right. Bunch, hand the ball off again fast, but swallowed up really quick there by the defensive line of the Junior Mustangs. First time we're saying this fella's name today, number 95, Nick Burkich, with the tackle, and combined with number 99, Max Koronkiewicz. My apologies again if there's any mispronunciations.
Yeah, and it just seems like
they do the shift here. Burkich splits the double, comes off the double team, makes the tackle. Great job.
They just have a really strong front four.
Of course, it's great because they're essentially we're getting the guard and the guard and the center to come double here, but he comes over top after they shift, so it ends up creating a mismatch or basically an unblocked gap. Ulark snaps the ball, hands the ball off. Play action.
Deep shot. Oh my!
Great play action motion there. Fooled me as well. Completion
wide
to
open.
Borjas. Stiff arm. He's running down the sideline.
And that's what they're looking for.
Touchdown Titans.
All right.
Number 2, Eli Borjas. That play action fake was excellent.
Yeah. That boundary corner just had his eyes in the backfield.
Correct. Yeah, eyes too much in the backfield there. Got caught looking, or hand in the cookie jar, so to speak. And yeah, Ulark again has incredible arm strength, able to push the ball down the field, and that's an example of that where it looked almost too easy for him.
Absolutely, and that's the problem with running these cut concepts in U14 when they don't have the reps in to not be able to just get caught up in what's going on elsewhere.
And when you mean cut coverages, right, you mean where the corner stays in the flat and the half ends up bailing to cover the deep third, correct?
Because he just couldn't get there in time.
Correct.
And the corner didn't stick with it.
All right, so they're coming out, trips to the field, and trips to the field trips on both sides now. 6 wide receivers in there, empty backfield. Ulark sends them in motion, drops back to pass, pressure coming, and there's a big sack. We just called his name. That's big number 95, Nick Burkich, coming through with the sack. Big fella getting some pressure. That's exactly what London needed there. Now, I mean, if London scores there and even gets the 1, that's a 9-point. That's a 2-possession game. With this much time left in the game, you got to start counting how many possessions you're going to get. But overall, quick drive from the Titans. Again, they'll do what they do. Well, they kind of switched up a little, right, with having that new back come in with he's a lot faster than Muhammad, but ultimately gave them a little jolt of power there for that drive.
I think that might have been the reason the corner bit on that.
For sure, because he's so fast, right? Like whenever you have a very fast running back in the game, it's very hard, especially because they could go out and be a receiver at any time.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that on the 2-point conversion. It just didn't work out.
Of course. Now we're looking at Betancourt to kick off for the after the Oakville Titans score. Looks like a little bit more of a condensed formation here, unless there's some spacing problems.
Just looks like some spacing problems. Yeah. It'd be too early in the half to onside kick it.
Yeah, they do have that unbalanced look towards our bleachers, right? Towards the home bleachers. Big kick down the middle of the field there, caught by Sarfo. Looks to return that towards the field there as there is a lane, and he does take it, runs into his own blocker, keeps moving forward, breaks a tackle, flag flies. and we will see what the penalty marker is on that play as we get a replay of this return. Great booming kick, right? Honestly, I didn't think he was going to come up with that with the catch, but we'll see what this call is after the replay. Looks like it may have been pedestrian block again.
Holding on
or holding
Western.
on the return team against the Junior Mustangs. So they're going to mark that
I don't
back
see
10
this.
yards. Maybe that right there.
Yeah, it looks up top on 98 or against 98.
Yeah. So possession not quite as good as what it could have been, but the Junior Mustangs will start their drive at the 30-yard line, up by 2 with 9 minutes and 36 seconds left in this U14AAA matchup between two undefeated teams, your London Junior Mustangs in the black jersey, gray pants with the white stripe. Oakville in that classic Raiders
Sending
look
pressure to
with
the boundary.
with the white jerseys there as they look to tackle him in the backfield. And correct, there was an unblocked defender there coming from the boundary, right? They decided to send the boundary defender there as they look to come on up for second down.
It's a loss of 1 on the play.
Yeah, and for a team that wants to run the ball, right, getting behind the sticks isn't always the best idea. White comes out in that pistol double wing look with Ferenc in the backfield.
I'm guessing a pass here.
Yeah, especially when they try to motion like that. There's a quick little play action. Sling it over the middle. That's caught by Javen Sarfo, continuing to move his feet there for about a 15-yard gain. That's a nice way to break out of a little slump there, out of a negative play. 2nd and 11 previous, right? Down to a first down. As you're going to see, he's going to run a hook here and just sit down in the soft part of the zone, right? A lot of teams like to call that captains, right? All hooks. Can be effective when you're running that at different yardages there, just to get the DBs off balance.
They have very different body types at both of the tight end positions.
100%. And Ferenc with the handoff, rumbling through to the secondary of the Oakville Titans defense, picking up another first down on the play. That's that 12-yard scamper, and he's been doing that all day. That's been all reliable for them, right? That little, I'm not sure what they call it specifically in the wing T, but that little gut or dive play, hand it, try to come through that B gap. And it's difficult when you have only 4 down linemen and there's 6 in theory, 6 blockers. We know that 8 potential blockers, right? So it's hard when you don't commit that many people to the box.
Especially when you're frequently losing a linebacker to the edge pressure, which they continue to send.
So the sweep here going to Javen Sarfo. He's looking to set up his blocks here. Unfortunately, is caught, but goes for a 9-yard gain.
The Junior Mustangs have just absolutely adjusted the edge pressure.
Definitely. It's interesting because as an offensive guard, right, traditionally on sweep, you have one guy that kicks out and one guy that pulls through. Now, what we're seeing here is that they're just both pulling around.
Yeah. Right? And up top, the miscommunication between 52 and 98, both taking up the same gap, allows 2 to get to the outside.
Absolutely. When you have 2 defenders in one gap, that is unsound defensive football. As the Mustangs come on out here. Under center, again with the wing T style offense, or double wing style offense, sorry. As White under center looks to put his receivers in motion here. Snap, fake handoff to Ferenc. White throws it over the middle.
Almost intercepted.
And it looks like that was intercepted by the Titans. That is number 2, Borjas, with the interception. We've been saying his name a lot today.
I don't think he thinks he caught that.
DB, exactly. Yeah, I think he's kind of like, I think. Let's take a look here. Originally, he's sitting over top, but again, he kind of creeps back to that safety spot. So it's interesting to see what White saw here, because we're getting the skinny post. It looks like they've also gotten there's a little
that was
bit
a
of
ground
pressure.
ball.
Unfortunately, we don't have our resident ref here, Shane, in the booth, but it looks like to be a clean interception from Borjas, and Oakville has the opportunity to take their first lead of the game here. Bunch formation to the field, 2 receivers to the boundary, 1 back in the backfield. Ulark snaps the ball, quick handoff there to their speedy running back. The flag flies in the backfield. Ball's on the turf. We'll see who has the ball here. It looks like Oakville may have recovered it.
There's also a holding penalty on the play.
Well, yeah, it looks to be holding as well.
And the running back cannot believe that.
Yeah, looks to be that they're pointing that Oakville keeps possession of the football.
Yeah.
Let's check to see the replay here.
Regardless, they're still 10 yards
And
back.
again, big outside zone here. You want all the offensive linemen stepping this way and looking to steal.
55 almost
on
got
the
the
front
edge.
side.
65 almost got the edge.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to call.
That's where the hold is there. When it's on the front side of a play as well. Yeah, it looks like the Oakville offensive player ended up grabbing that before it ended up becoming possession of London's. So looks like holding call against the Titans here. It's going to move this back 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Looks to be an issue with the sticks here. They'll get that sorted out as the great officiating crews do. Looks to be second down and 20 now. Really close. Oh, it looks like there's a Oakville player down and injured.
No, but with Oakville's offense, I don't think they care if it's second down and 10 or second down and 20.
Correct. Yeah, with how well they throw the ball, yeah, it's almost one and the same for them.
Yeah. 2 points to make up the deficit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Oakville kicker's leg, but I mean,
like they haven't kicked all game. Yeah.
So they're kind of stuck right now.
It's definitely a mystery for us here, as I believe that's number 36 for the Titans coming off of the field here, and that is Jacob Betancourt. That's their kicker. So yeah, unfortunate. That was the one who's kicking their kickoffs and their and the punter, I believe.
That's a tough position to be in.
100%, absolutely. Especially when they come off the field. Like, how many teams prep a backup kicker? Right?
In U14?
Exactly. So we get that bunch look towards the field again for the Titans. Quick handoff
They're going to run it.
Number 65 trying to set the edge. Unfortunately, isn't able to make the tackle, but a herd of Mustangs end up following him up. And that looks to be number 24 with the tackle for the Junior Mustangs there. That is Mason Kraftchick, has called his name a few times.
Seems to be about a gain of 3.
Yeah, so second down and 7. Looked like a whole host of tacklers there.
Second down and 17. So, or third down and 7.
Yeah, third and 17.
What? Third and 17.
Yeah, third and 17. I'm not sure if the call chart or if the call sheet goes back to third and 17, but we'll see what they have cooked up here. Trips towards the field, 2 receivers toward the boundary. Running back offset in the shotgun towards the field. Ulark drops back to pass, slings the ball, incomplete. He was looking for number 12. Caleb Kuhar falls incomplete. 4th down and 17 upcoming for the Titans.
Their sideline's not moving. I think they're going to go for it.
They're going to go for it here. I mean, they could do a quick kick, like a QB kick, right? Where you have the 2 receivers on side, try to recover the ball.
I mean,
I'm not sure if Ulark can do that, but he's in the game still.
Seems like a weird thing to install when you haven't kicked all game.
Correct. And it's still funny, with at U12 it's a little bit different. But like, first year U14, it's like, all right, can you tie my shoe? Right, a little game delay for the wheel there of the defensive lineman. Ular comes out, trips towards the field.
I don't think the running back's going to get the ball. That seemed to be a false start. They didn't call it, and
pass is completed. Great coverage there by 24. I believe that's Kraftchick again. Hey, he had himself one heck of a defensive possession there. Oh, yeah, sorry, this is upcoming. It's 4th and 8. So sorry, my apologies. It was third and 17 there. Now 4th and 8.
Yeah.
4 minutes and 25 seconds left in this game between the London Junior Mustangs and Oakville Titans.
I think that's because it was 1st and 20 after the holding call.
Correct. Yeah, there was no loss of down there. Trips towards about the middle of the field, 2 towards the boundary. Look to try and draw the defense offside. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. Timeout called by the Titans as they look to see what they're going to look to accomplish here. Sorry, they punted once this game. It was kind of like a sky-high 15 to 20 yard distance.
Yeah. One of the
so,
ones you just blow dead before it hits the
correct.
ground.
Yeah, I was very close to that. The returner ended up catching the ball and got a few yards, but yeah, in terms of flipping the field, I don't think that's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
you
gonna
draw up your play, you run it, you trust your receivers. If anyone's going to get the ball here, it's got to be Borjas, right?
yeah, and I'm gonna make a prediction that the running back's not getting it.
Yeah, I don't think. If anything, you could get on like a swing pass, maybe. Maybe you go trips to the field, right? Run some sort of divide concept, right? Post, skinny post, go, and then have the swing come underneath, just so at least you can have some blockers in space, maybe.
I mean, I've only seen them throw ins and goes.
Yeah. So like if you were to try and have that, you'd have the trips 1, 2, 3, hard post, the skinny post, and then some sort of go, and then the tailback who's in the backfield swings out here.
They don't need to get that far.
No, they only need 8 yards, right? So
I'm guessing they're gonna throw a check down, see if he can make up.
Yeah, maybe even some sort of mesh concept.
Yeah.
Mesh coming from the underneath, and then one receiver coming here over top. See what happens there.
There seems to be some kind of issue with the
Yeah,
center's towel.
Want to dry the ball off, maybe get it as dry as possible, especially for a passing team, right? London defensive line loading back up, looking to get some pressure. Ulark drops back to pass. Big throw here down the sideline for Borjas. Incomplete here. No flags on the field. That's a stop for the Junior Mustangs. That's number 28, Finley Almeida with the coverage there. Great coverage by the young fella. And that was we said that's probably one of the guys they're going to go to, right?
Yeah.
Borjas has been impressive all game, but now you put yourself in a big bind if you're the defense of the Titans. You got to think that they would have at least chatted with the DC about that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to go for it here. We might put you guys in a really bad spot. What are we going to do here?
And all I'm thinking is you just didn't need to do that.
Correct. You only needed 8 yards,
Yeah.
right? You didn't need to take the shot.
You could have at least gotten 3.
I respect the decision though, right? You only needed 8, but again,
Yeah.
if the defense knows you only need 8, right? Sometimes that outside look is a little bit susceptible. I'm surprised. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say they should just run right up the middle here.
Yeah. The
defense was so wide, was so spread out.
They put London in their element.
Yeah, this is exactly where London wants to be, right? We'll get a replay on the next one, but they had so many defenders committed to the outside. They had the defensive end, they had the outside linebacker, they had the 2-back, the corner was sitting out here. They only had one linebacker in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So, of course, naturally, you want to run the ball there. First and goal for your London Junior Mustangs on the 10-yard line.
And they're just still so spread out.
Correct.
I'm guessing an edge, but like the linebacker, they're shoulder to shoulder right now.
Yeah.
We're getting an edge pressure, so it's a 5 front.
Up the gut, stopped by Oakville there. But it's interesting because, like you mentioned, they're so widespread out. You have the end here, tackle here, tackle here. But you have 1, 2, 3 defenders for the outside here. 1, 2, 3-ish defenders here on the outside. You're leaving one guy inside.
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why they don't just run a 5 front.
Yeah. I mean, funny enough, you say a 50 front, right? But we saw even earlier today, it unfortunately wasn't streamed, but the U12 AAA game, a team went to a 60 front.
I mean,
they literally lined up a defensive lineman in every single gap.
Yeah.
it was incredible. And on 9-on-9 football, it was remarkable. I've never seen that before in my life.
I guess it would work.
Right? But yeah, it also depends on team composition and depth as well.
Let's see if they motion up for an edge pressure.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's creeping up.
Yeah, he's creeping.
They ran the same play twice.
Sweet play here. Oh, the edge pressure does work there. That's tackled in the backfield by Corkum. We've been saying his name a lot today. The boundary defensive end here. Ends up coming through. Just unfortunate, right? You got linemen that are running free. You got to pick up the most dangerous defender, guys. You can't let them run past you. For being in a bad spot though,
they're not doing terribly.
Oakville's doing great, right? Like if you can hold them to 3 here, this is excellent, right? But
well, I mean, I think they're running a 4-6-3 right now.
Sweep to Sarfo here as he looks to pushing upfield here. It was 3rd and goal there. He gets it back to about the 6-yard line here. 4th and goal upcoming for the London Junior Mustangs. 2 minutes left in this matchup between two undefeated teams here. Oakville attempting to come back into this game and erase that deficit. All right, this is make or break time here. Timeout called by the Junior Mustangs. I love calling the timeout here, right? You got 2 minutes left in the game. Let's make sure we get the right personnel on the field. Let's make sure we got the right play call. Make sure everyone knows what they're doing so we can execute to our fullest here. Get the guys a little bit of a rest, right?
I think if I'm Oakville, I'm just going to be doing what I've been doing. Just setting
Correct.
that edge pressure.
Yep. Set the edge, because again, to gain 7 or 8 yards on a 4th goal running play with Ferenz it would be somewhat difficult, right? Like it's easier when you're in the middle of the field and defense has to plan for everything that could potentially happen. When you're this close to the end zone, a lot of things could happen.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And do you think the Junior Mustangs are confident enough to throw that play action?
Absolutely.
Because that might be the best play right now.
Right. You fake that sweep, play action, throw the ball to a crossing receiver.
Oakville's already out on the field, and it seems they're showing their hand.
Yeah,
early.
What I've always told my kids is that, hey, you stay tight, and then once they show up, then you show what's going on defense, right? So
They're doing a
what London
4-4-4.
wants to do here to potentially score and put this game out of reach for Oakville. White in the pistol, double wing formation. Ferenc behind him.
Oakville has
Oakville
Oakville
under
has
center.
6 linebackers right now.
White in motion. Fake sweep the Sarfo. Sarfo moves up. Flag thrown on the play here. Looks to be a stop.
And let's see what the call is.
Let's see what. Yes, correct. Let's see what that call is. If the penalty is declined, Oakville will get the ball on the 1-yard line. But we see that sweep play here where the back comes this way. We
The
get
penalty.
the wing back coming this way, right?
The penalty's on the Junior
handoff
Mustangs.
there. I think the penalty here is on actually number 17 because he's blocking towards his own end zone, right? And you can't block towards your own end zone. And it was also pushing the rear, right? So unfortunate there, but we do get a change of possession. Oakville takes possession of the football, looking to come back and win this game with 2 minutes left. They got a long way to go. They're starting on the 2-yard line. I've always thought that, passing teams, this is somewhat difficult, right? Because if you're a passing team, you're backed up. You can't take a sack here, right? You can't take a sack here.
Not only do you need to rely on the quarterback's arm, you also have to rely on the running back or the receiver to actually get it to the end zone.
Correct. All right, they come out in a split back look. First time we've seen this today. Willard commanding the offense here, sending his receivers in motion. Snap, looking to pass. Quick pass out to, I believe that's Borjas, who ends up breaking a couple tackles, ends up gaining about 8 or 9 yards on the play.
They have a lot
That's exactly what you want to do, though. You see, you get Borjas isolated here.
Yeah.
Running kind of like a sit or a snag.
And 24, they're playing a hold concept where the corner's high and half is low. 24 just doesn't get there.
No, yeah, he bails.
He's
right?
too caught up on the backfield. He just doesn't see it coming. And Oakville's bringing a lot of protection now. They had that split backfield, and they were both blocking.
The backfield here. Trips towards the field, 2 to the boundary. Running back offset towards the boundary. Alark drops back to pass. Pump fake. Pumps twice. Look to throw again. Short completion there. 24 there to end up corralling the offensive player there. I believe that's number 3. Or it might be Borjas again. No, that's Borjas again with the reception. They've been going to him all day. But again, great job by 24 to rebound, right? He was able to corral the offensive player there, come down when they want to go out to him. There we go. See? There we go. Corral
24 just isn't getting his eyes around.
Sideline. Of course, you'd love for him to make a tackle in the moment, but you gotta, especially when you're protecting a 2-point lead here, minute 43, force him to drive the field.
I mean, making a tackle would be nice, but he has to get there first.
Correct.
I don't know what he's looking for.
Trips to the boundary, 2 to the field. Ulark drops back to pass, pressure in his face. He looks to escape the pocket, does so, does for a run, goes for a little scamper, picking up 12, 15 yards now, still running. Tackled by big number 95, Nick Burkich, after a 20-yard gain. That's huge for the Titans here.
Yeah.
And it's especially, what can you do when a play breaks down, right? Like, what do you do when things are going off script? And I think that's where Ulark really shines as a quarterback. He has the athletic ability. He's very patient as a runner. Is able to pick up that first down and more. As he's looking to command the offense here. 3 receivers to the field, 1 to the boundary. Ulark scans the field, throws the ball there to the in route. That's number 12 for the Oakville as he gets tackled quickly by number 23. That's Nathan Cooper. And then number 12 with the catch, Caleb Kuhar with the reception. Minute 20 left in this game. Oakville coming out, looking to up the tempo here, not allow London to have any time to settle. 3 receivers to the field, 2 to the boundary. It's interesting how much space they're giving to those receivers. Ulark drops back to pass, looks to sling the ball outside. That's caught by Borjas on the hook. Quickly taken out of bounds. Flag flies.
And they're just going to keep on taking that space that the corners are giving them.
Correct. Death of 1,000 cuts, so to speak. But it looks like the flag is against Oakville here. We shall see what that penalty is.
Yeah, 23. And corners and halves appear to be, it looks like man.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where the holding call is, but the call was there. But yes, I completely agree. They're playing so far off that it looks like they're okay with giving them, 5 to 7 yards here. You have the DB here, high, single high safety.
It looks like they're playing 5 high.
Yeah, just full true prevent defense, right? But
that's not what they need right now.
No, they need. I think they should bring a little bit of pressure.
They've managed to make it halfway up the field in only a minute.
Correct.
No.
1 minute left in this game. 3 receivers to the field, 2 to the boundary. Ulark takes a snap, looks to drop back, passes the ball outside, caught by number 12. Kuhar again as he breaks a tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and is brought down at the 55 in the middle of the field, as that presents Oakville with a 2nd down and 7 in order, again, 13 yards that quick, right? 13 yards that fast.
And that was just
offense.
A direct copy of how they got in that position in the first place. Just an in route to 12.
47 seconds and ticking in the 4th quarter of this game. Score 28-26 for your home London Junior Mustangs. Ulark steps back, takes the snap.
Pressure from the linebacker.
Coming. He's rolling to his left, flicks the ball outside. Caught by Borjas. Looks to be short. Depends on where they want to spot it.
And Borjas is just putting up Derrick Henry numbers right now.
Yeah.
He's looking down the field, and if he doesn't see 2, he's running.
That's right. It's almost like that. It might be a little bit earlier than your time, but the receiver I believe he played for the Broncos or the Bears at the time, Brandon Marshall, and he had a 21 reception game, but it was on all like hooks, slants, like everything short. And it looks like Borjas is just emulating.
He's
that
down there
right
somewhere.
Now. Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
And Borjas
running here.
He's just running.
Sit. I'm just gonna sit down.
He's just jogging.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go for a little jaunt here. Looks like a timeout on the field.
If I was game playing for Oakville, I would I'd probably put more emphasis on Borjas.
For sure. I mean, you're gonna but you're also okay with the 5 to 7 yard hooks, right? You got Jason Kerr, the defensive coordinator for the London Junior Mustangs there. But there's a ton of great help on both coaching staffs here.
Absolutely.
Especially from the London area. So we got 3rd and 2 here.
And
as we get a little stoppage of the game here, I believe that they're just going to explain what's going on, get everyone set, make sure everyone's on the same page. Ulark takes a snap, takes the handoff, toss, pass! Looking for Kuhar. Completed! First down for Oakville, the toss, pass. What a way to bring that out. Whoa, wow. Huge pressure. Like, that's a big moment.
That's a big moment.
That's a big
They're
moment.
just playing by the seat of their pants
That's
right now.
That's a great play call by the OC there. Catch him napping. But
I
they
was
only
looking
got 21
downfield.
seconds
Was
left
that a
ticking.
Philly special?
No, because the Lark stayed back to pass. He drops back, looks to sling it. Ball in the air. Caught by Porras. Drop.
Incomplete.
Incomplete pass. Wow, what a hit. That's Kamani Blake back in the game for the Junior Mustangs. We talked about him a lot in the first half of being a defensive leader out there. Very physical, wants to hit you. Definitely comes up big there for the Junior Mustangs. 12 seconds left. You got second down and 10 here. You probably got 3 plays, right? 3 plays here.
I mean, if he really tries to draw one out, if they get enough pressure and they force him to scramble, it might be the last one.
All right, 4 receivers. You know that Borjas is isolated up top here.
No doubt they're going to try the next thing.
They got to try to him. They're going to
again.
100% look to him.
Yeah.
Lark looks to look off the safety, ends up running here.
This is exactly
Ends
what he
up
doesn't
running
want.
here,
This is
stuck in the
exactly what he doesn't
backfield.
want.
Tackled by Big Nick Perkich. And there's only 5 seconds left to go in the game here. Lark is down. He is hurt.
That's exactly what you don't want with 4 seconds left on the clock.
Not even remotely close, but he does
To
get
waste
up
8
here.
of them and
Right,
get an injury.
They look to Borjas here, but great coverage here by Almeida and Declan Lee here to cover. And great job pursuing the football from these 3 big fellas. So huge loss for Oakville here, and Olarik having to come off of the field for essentially the last 2 plays of the game. Yeah, he's pretty frustrated in having to come off the field there. Unfortunately, he does go down. The trader does come on the field. He essentially is going to be looked at and is going to be coming off.
Can you get the name for the person they brought in? 22?
22?
I think that's 22.
Yeah, 22, that is Enzo Silveira.
Enzo Silveira. This is probably the biggest
I
moment.
don't think he's coming in to play quarterback here.
It looks like it.
I think he's
that's
coming
the
in to
person
play
they brought
receiver, and they're bringing someone else in at quarterback. I think Borjas is going to end up playing quarterback here. He is a converted quarterback to receiver.
Did they just sub out 1 and bring on 2?
Nope. So O'Hara came out. Borjas is already on the field. Yeah, Silveira's lining up to go play receiver here. Borjas in the backfield. Former quarterback getting to live a glory moment here. 3 seconds left on the clock for this Oakville Titans team. This is now or never for them. Borjas takes the snap, looks to drop back, heaves it up.
To 12. It's intercepted.
And it's intercepted.
It's intercepted.
Intercepted. That's game. Junior Mustangs, number 19, Xander Kohler. Interception. That's ball game for your London Junior Mustangs. Came down to the wire. What a game.
That's a huge play.
What a game. What a game. Now, you got to be kicking yourself and thinking if O'Harrick's in the game there, does it end up any different?
If you had the extra yard.
Right?
That is a nightmare situation for Oakville.
That is, what a game. And it just showed why both of these teams are undefeated, right?
Yeah.
You have the passing attack of Oakville, the running attack of the London Junior Mustangs,
and
right?
You know what I like? I like that it shows the diversity of football.
Correct.
How you have 2 completely polar opposite teams
Correct.
ending up 26-28.
Absolutely, and it's still a very close game, right? Shout out to all the players that were on the field today. Great job by both sides. Overall, very clean game as well. Not too many penalties, not too many major infractions.
Yeah.
Hopefully all the players that were injured were staying okay and they heal up soon. Great game. Phenomenal game. You can't ask for anything better.
Hey, when a close game is still a high-scoring game, that's a good game.
Exactly.
That's a good game.
Exactly. For me, game MVP, even in the loss, I'm going to pick a game MVP for both teams here. For the Junior Mustangs, number 35, Emmett Ferenc.
That's a good pick.
Right?
That's a good pick.
Rumbling the rock. Did a lot of carrying the ball for them. I'm really torn for an MVP for Oakville. Either Ulharek or Borjas, right? Borjas scored a lot of their touchdowns, but Ulharek was the one getting them the ball. I'm going to take Ulharek on this one. Yeah, very talented kid. Hopefully he's not too hurt. But great game by everyone here. As you can see, we got the U16 Junior Mustangs coming up and the U16 Oakville Titans coming up to play the next matchup that I believe is starting in about 30 minutes here.
Not to twist the knife or anything, but I think O'Hara's just more upset than anything.
Correct.
He was not hurt.
No, he just needed a little time there. But great job by both teams. This is Dylan Sherville with Mr. Nathan Cantor here, and we are signing out from University Stadium here at Western University in London, Ontario.